Dear ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 6th edition of Senegal Presidential Election Campaign Journal. The Benno Bokk Yakaar coalition candidate began his second day of campaigning in Mbacké before traveling to Tivaouane to meet the Khalif General of Tidiane, where he assisted for an afternoon meeting. He pledged to create 1 million jobs for young people to boost the economy and reduce unemployment. A report of Sheikh Omar Kamara.
At his meeting in Tivaouane on Tuesday, March 12, 2024, the presidential election candidate Amadou Ba announced ambitious measures to benefit Senegalese youths and families. In front of an enthusiastic crowd, he pledged to create 1 million jobs for young people to stimulate the economy and reduce unemployment.
People want to destroy the society through young people, but if we train them, if they listen to their parents, if we give them jobs, no one will be able to destroy us. That's why I put them on my side and asked the Baraka of Tivaouane to call for peace, because I'm just looking for peace.
In addition to this major promise, Amadou Ba also unveiled his plan to increase the family security grant from 300,000 to 500,000 beneficiaries. This measure is designed to strengthen the social safety net for the most vulnerable families and combat poverty in the country.
We have a family security grant program for vulnerable people. There are 300,000, even 400,000 beneficiaries. I would like to increase it to 500,000. More so, people under 65 want to be eligible for this grant. However, we will choose people without a pension, whether they are tradesmen who are no longer physically fit, craftsmen, farmers, or religious leaders, and care will be free for them.
Amadou Ba's speech in Tivaouane clearly marked a milestone in his election campaign, making specific promises and a strong commitment to the youth and families of Senegal. After the resounding success of the Tivaouane meeting, the candidate paid a courtesy visit to the religious city before heading on to Dionne, another religious town.
Candidate Mohamed Boun Abdallah Dionne visited the headquarters of the National Coalition for Sustainable Fisheries on 12 March 2024. A meeting was organized to mark his commitment and the signing of the Charter for Sustainable Fishery. The former Prime Minister also announced a series of measures he intends to take once he is elected to lead the country on the evening of 24 March 2024. A report by Amadou Ba. Candidate Mohamed Boun Abdallah Dionne visited the headquarters of the National Coalition for Sustainable Fisheries. There, he signed the Charter of Commitment for Sustainable Fisheries. The Dionne 2024 coalition candidate also announced strong public policies related to the fisheries sector that he intends to implement once elected to the country's highest office.
Au lendemain de notre élection,
The day after our election as President of the Republic, the first measure I will take is to cancel all fishing agreements. I'm not talking about the country or the zone, but all the fishing agreements signed by Senegal. Our stage of development demands it. Our productive capacity to develop our needs in terms of industrialization demands it. Senegalese fish will be a priority for fishermen, Senegalese industry, and women processors in the fisheries sector.
Formatrice du secteur de la pêche.
Former Prime Minister Mohamed Boun Abdallah Dionne, one of the few candidates to promise to serve a single 5-year term once elected on the evening of 24 March 2024. He pledged to promote sustainable fishing by respecting all ecological standards.
Surtout dans le contexte du gaz et du pétrole qui a...
Especially with oil and gas on the horizon, I will be asking the sector to be more demanding in terms of maritime pollution management and also compliance with standards in terms of illegal fishing and prohibited nets, as well as biological rest.
Et les filets interdits ainsi que le repos biologique.
In addition to measures related to the safety of the maritime environment, Mohamed Boun Abdallah Dionne, candidate in the presidential election of 24 March 2024, has promised to build 2 more fishing ports to increase the production capacity of fish products and at the same time promote the national fishing sector. Serigne Mboup's vision, embodied in the Ande coalition and Sukhali Senegal pour un Sénégal de paix, de justice et d'équité sociale, seeks a reconciled Senegal focused on social and economic development. As a candidate in presidential election on 24 March 2024, the businessman is calling for change, and he is committed to serving and developing Senegal. A portrait by Philomentin.
Born in 1966 in the Kaolack region of western Senegal, Serigne Mboup, whose real name is Serigne Mboup, is a candidate in the Senegalese presidential election of March 24, 2024, and is planning a radical overhaul of the Senegalese government apparatus as part of his Yoku Ba Yeko program. His project is based on the theme of a Senegal of justice, peace, and social equity.
Notre histoire a été marquée.
Our history has been marked by the orgies of colonization, which destroyed our culture, our wealth, and our values. Independence was supposed to liberate us, but our leaders, who behave like real kings, promote incompetence, complexities, humiliation, and poverty.
De l'humiliation et de la pauvreté.
At the heart of his vision is the desire to build a Senegal where justice, transparency, and citizen participation are fundamental values. Serigne Mboup, President of the National Union of Chambers of Commerce and Industry of Senegal and current mayor of Kaolack, is a leader in promoting youth employment in Senegal. He believes that job creation is the solution of irregular migration.
May the cry of youth resound at the bottom of the ocean and abroad. Many are questioning my involvement in these elections. Yes, I could manage my affairs and collaborate with those in power, but my moral duty pushes me to get involved in politics to serve and develop my country.
According to Serigne Mboup, his professional training in entrepreneurship and business management was provided exclusively by his father, chairman and CEO of Groupe Comptoir Commercial Bara Mboup. His company generates around 1,000 direct jobs and 4,000 indirect jobs across Senegal.
Oil and gas production in Senegal starts in 2024. Discovered in 2014, the oil reserve represents a major financial boost for a national economy. Given the many challenges the sector poses to society, debate is intensifying on the challenges of importing, refining, storing, transporting, and distributing hydrocarbons. A dossier by Amen Eji.
Although Senegal has made remarkable progress in terms of access to electricity, only 43% of the rural population has access. Meeting one of these challenges among many others involves optimal management of Senegal's hydrocarbon discoveries, which are intended to contribute to the realization of the plan Sénégal émergent Vision 2035.
Accélérer le développement des marchés de l'électricité.
Accelerate the development of African electricity markets through the construction of interconnection corridors and the gradual realization of a single electricity market with an integrated African network, which will considerably reduce the cost of electricity on the continent.
Le coût de l'électricité sur le continent.
With a GDP of around $27.5 billion by 2022 and an unemployment rate of around 24%, Senegal is counting on the exploitation of hydrocarbons to generate substantial resources. According to the Comité d'orientation stratégique du pétrole et du gaz, the Sangoma and Grand Tortue Ayamine oil fields discovered in 2014 and 2015 are expected to generate cumulative revenues of $15 billion and $24 billion respectively. This also requires the establishment of an appropriate governance framework. This classification will make it possible to favor Senegalese investors in these activities by reserving a certain number of activities for these companies through this exclusive regime. Oil and gas discovery off the coast of Senegal, however, will not be without environmental consequences, exposing the country to the impacts of pollution. Hydrocarbon revenues and revenue mobilization efforts should help reduce the budget deficit to 3% of GDP by 2025.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the 6th edition of Senegalese Presidential Election Diary. We look forward to seeing you soon for a new edition. Thank you for following and enjoying our programs on Africa 24.